Hello everyone. Today I will be discussing in this short video. I will be discussing on the introduction to microprocessors. This is the course first lecture. The objective of this lecture is to help the students gain knowledge in basic fundamentals of digital electronics. Also get the actually what a microprocessor is and different categories of microprocessor. That would be you will be learning. Now here, what is first we'll discuss about what is a microprocessor. Then we'll have some definitions on your some basic terminology definitions we will be discussing. As you're unfamiliar with the concepts of digital electronics, a little bit of digital electronic concept I will be telling to you, which is helpful in your microprocessor subject. And along with this one, we'll be having the different categories of microprocessor. The first, we'll start what actually a microprocessor is. What is a microprocessor? So, microprocessor is an electronic chip that has computing and decision-making capabilities similar to CPU of a computer, or more likely, I can say it is a CPU of a computer. So here, one thing I want to tell you over here is that it is an electronics chip. Electronic chip over here indicating that it is nothing but an integrated circuit. This circuit is being manufactured for doing some computing task. That is a microprocessor. So what actually in a microprocessor consists of? How the computing would be done. Now as per the definition, it is saying that chip that has computing and decision making. These two things we need to highlight. What is that? First one is computing. The second one is decision making. Okay. Now, first one is that microprocessor is a programmable electronics chip. I'm stressing over here. Programmable electronic chip. The chip which can be programmed. It is not fixed programming. Once you have manufactured the chip, it is not meant for a single program, whatever the specific application. It is, you can change the program of that chip. That is nothing but a microprocessor. Now, for what the intention the microprocessor has been developed? It is developed for computing and decision making capabilities. So just like our brain is having a capability of computing as well as it can make a decision. Similar to that one, we say that in a system, in a microprocessor or any system, we can say that it would be having a decision making capability. So that is a major advantage. A CPU is said to be the brain of a system. So here, 8085 or 8086 or any microprocessor will be programmable first. Next one, it has an computing. Next, it has an decision making. On what it does these two processes. So computing and all this one is done by the ALU. And decision making is being done by some set of instructions provided to the microprocessor by checking some conditions that would be like flag register would be there or some other things are there in a microprocessor. Those architecture things would be taken into consideration in to make a decision whether you need to stop the program or run the program or whatever it is being to a microprocessor. One more thing I want to tell you here is that the microprocessor can be connected to any other device to perform it without any manual interruption. So there, what will be there? You would be having decision making should be done. So this decision making would be done depending on the instructions, whether to run that application. Just for example, I had a 7-segment display. What the 7-segment display you need to show it up on the 7-segment display unit. You had an stepper motor. you want to run a stepper motor or stop a stepper motor, and how many rotations I need to run. So that would be a decision making. You can doesn't need a manual interruption, or automatically a microprocessor would be doing this process. So here a microprocessor. So the definition is very simple. Remember that microprocessor is a programmable electronic chip that has computing and decision making capabilities similar to CPU. Okay. So here each animal microprocessor will be having its unique features. Some microprocessor, one microprocessor to the other microprocessor will have its different features. Some will be having limited number of resources, may have a larger number of resources. And here, any microprocessor system having limited number of resources is called as microcomputers. Okay, limited number of. So now, whenever you go, you see the real-time applications. There are numerous of things which have been embedded with the microprocessor. Just like in the mobile phones, you are having the in the printers, in a washing machine, etc., where you can see a lot of it. Now, next one is that about the basic terms. You need to have the knowledge about these terms because for microprocessor these terms will be used. Now, first thing is that when you go for digital word, you need to remember bit. A bit is a single, either 0 or 1 is called as a bit. 1 bit of information. Single binary digit. Binary digits are nothing but 0 and 1. A single binary digit is called as a bit, and a group of bits is called as a word. Now, the bit size, the word size may be differing, like 8-bit word, 16-bit word, 20-bit word, whatever it is there. A group of bits is called a word. Now, memory word. Memory word is nothing but a fixed amount of bits which a memory, I mean to say, that couldn't be located in the memory. That is called as a memory word. So memory word may be 1 bit, maybe 4 bits, maybe 8 bits. 1 bit memory word won't be there, maximum extent. But mostly it would be 8 bits or 16 bits. And one more thing, 8 bits is called as a byte, 16 bits is called as a word. That is it. And then the information to be carried out from peripherals to the memory and all those fun is being carried out by the buses. Buses are nothing but a group of wires that carry the single information. So you would be having a different categories of buses like system bus, address bus, data bus, control bus. Once we go in depth of the subject, once you go ahead in the subject, you would be getting the knowledge about what is an address bus. Address bus, as the name itself, it is used to send the addresses. Data bus, it is used to send the data. Control bus is for control signals. These are about some of the basic terminologies. Now, here in a microprocessor can be manufactured using of these technologies like transistor logic, emitter coupled logic, CMOS logic. These are the few logics where you can develop your microprocessor. So transistor logic is nothing but here all the BJTs will be there. Using of the BJTs and some resistors, you will be developing the logic. You will be having one special category of transistor which is called as multi-emitter transistor in this. Next one is emitter coupled logic is nothing but all the emitters are coupled together. This is the fastest of all the logic families we have. And the CMOS logic family is nothing but it is combining a combination of PMOS and NMOS. MOS is nothing but the MOSFET. Already, I think you have studied in your ADC. So that is nothing but metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. So this using of this MOSFETs, you will be developing a CMOS. Now the microprocessor is developed either of these three technologies. And how the classification of microprocessors are being done? Microprocessor classification is done in different categories. Like I have listed out the three broad categories on which the classifications of microprocessor is been done. The first category is about the size of the data bus or address bus, we can say. So, if your size of the address bus or data bus is of 4-bit, it is a 4-bit microprocessor. 16-bit, 16-bit microprocessor. 8-bit, 8-bit microprocessor. 32-bit, 32-bit microprocessor. So it is not only the size of the data bus, it could be the size of the address bus, it could be the size of the ALU. Actually, strictly speaking, it should be the size of the ALU. Depending on the based on the size, you would be having 4-bit, 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit. So here, one microprocessor, when you take it to one microprocessor, for example, 8085 microprocessor is a 16-bit microprocessor. 8085 microprocessor is a 8-bit microprocessor. So basically, you would be having a 16-bit microprocessor, 20 like 8086 is a 16-bit microprocessor, like that. So this is about the depending on the size of the database. Next one, you would be having a microprocessor depending on the application. Like general purpose microprocessors, you would be having microcontrollers, special purpose processors. Like one specific application, you would be giving a processor. General purpose, like general purpose. Next one, depending on the architectures. There are two architectures: reduced instruction set computer, RISC processors, and complex instruction set computer, CISC processors. Already, I think this RISC and CISC terminology you have heard in your computers. I mean to say C language or anything. So these are the three classifications, so three broad categories of classification of microprocessor. This is the outcome of your lecture. I hope that by the end of this lecture, you will be able to understand the importance of a microprocessor in a real-time application. What is the importance? Thank you. We'll see the next one on features of 80.